you guys learn. First, about tracing and looking at the image itself. Of course, you gain a lot of information just by looking at it. And what I mean by that, like I have reference pictures. I actually have a lot of reference pictures with Konata because they're on posters and stuff, and I got the comic book. But you just gotta look at the detail. The hair, the eyes. This right now, I'm doing the hair, and I'm using a Micron 100-05 thing. I'm just about out of them. These things are pretty expensive. It's not that you gotta have the best equipment to do all this, but once you go along and decide to go with doing good drawings of anime or whatever, it honestly doesn't matter what you get. But of course, it's just personal preference. I'd rather see how a finer pen can do against a thicker regular Bic pen, but in some cases they both even out, because sometimes you need a specific pen for specific detail or something like that, if you guys get what I'm saying. But as I said, I'm using just a very thin, fine pen, and just about have all the lines done. I'm actually going to rush this because this is, say, when you want to start drawing anime and then you want to make it all cool looking and stuff, and you'll have a lot of frustration at first, and that's the truth. You'll be messing up on a whole bunch of things. I don't know how many papers, thousands of papers I have thrown away just because something didn't look right. And that's just me, because I'm a prima donna when it comes to these type of things. I really want them to look good. But this one didn't actually come out too bad as a line and just freehand and just thinking out of mind. But for right now, as you can see, I got the hair. I already did the face and everything beforehand, and just, if you can tell, some of the lines are actually a little thicker in some places, such as like the body, the hands, the neck, the mouth area, and this is a little thinner. But now I'm going to start working on the clothing and the accessories. And let's pick something thicker. This is going to be a 5. I call them 5s. I don't know what anybody else calls them out there, but I call them 5s. And this is a thicker thing. All you gotta do is stick the thing on it and it'll ink it right up. And she's wearing, this is a little she-mag thing. She-mag's a Middle Eastern desert protector, sand, don't want to get sand in your face type of thing. And when you're coming to drawing these characters and just anime in general, you just gotta keep it, it's anime, it's animated. It doesn't really matter how it comes out. But if you say when you wanna experiment a little bit more and get into more detail, you gotta actually put some time and effort into like each little line that you're looking at. Like the clothes, you got like the folds. When people have a lot of problems on like the clothes or the body or the shape, and people always have just a specific weakness. Like my weakness is just usually it's either I messed up on the body or I put the eye in the wrong place or something like that. Just very basic things. It doesn't really matter, even if you like totally screw up. You can always alter it and make something a little bit better out of it. And when it comes to clothing, all you gotta do is just remember the folds and like where they're at and stuff. Like they got these creases right here, so you know that she has something on instead of her being like butt ass naked. Alright, so we got the clothes, and then you got your basic figure right there of Konata. Alright guys, and the next one is a weapon. Always ask me about this on the otaku.com whenever I'm drawing weapons and such, because they guess they like the weapons that I do and make. Well, I've been drawing weapons for a pretty long time, but this is a Barrett 50 cal, and I'm using a number 3 just to try to give that perception of depth, because that's what the ink does, is it gives you your perception of where things are placed, how thick they are, and in conjunction to the body and the posture. And yes, this is a Barrett 50 caliber rifle. Why she has it? Because I just had the idea of Konata, Otaku Gamer Girl / Call of Duty. Or it could be like, you know, I don't know, any other war game that you can think of, SOCOM, whatever. But it's just the idea when you're coming up with like an anime drawing. And then if you really like it, of course you commit all the way, and then there you go, you got yourself a pretty spruced up little picture. I use the computer to do some of my art, but that's also another thing that's also has to be taken into consideration, for the fact that some people are really good. Some people are just phenomenal with the computer graphics, image coloration, and stuff like that. I really haven't been totally into that, because I've started out just using like a regular piece of paper and pen and pencil and shading and all that stuff. So I usually stuck with this. I do my mediums on computer sometimes, but of course when I look at it, it's not as good as it is when you put it on ink or paper or whatever, or just any type of medium like those canvases. If you guys have seen my canvases, it's a whole different feel, but it has the same feel. Yeah, I'll say feel again, because you're using your hand. You're trying to get that motion just right. You're not exactly trying to cut or paste or Control Alt Delete, if you guys know what I'm talking about. When it comes to just starting off, I highly recommend tracing. Even though a lot of people, once you guys get like really good and stuff, you'll put down tracing as just you're copying. I don't get it, because everything's copyrighted and all that stuff, but the ideas have still been there and are still the same. But just copy. If you really want to know how to get a character down, you gotta draw consistently. Make the mag. A little Konata face right there. I'll pop that out a little later, because the sun is still directly in it, so I'm not sure how you guys are seeing it. And when you're doing images like these and stuff, you always got to keep in mind the posture of the body, because sometimes when you say make a mistake, it's usually when you put a little too much or a little too little of ink or here or there, or you're just off of your regular pencil drawing line where you wanted it to be. But of course that's alright. Color makes up for it. And for right now I'm not going to get into the color, because I got to go to work and get ready and stuff, and try to the best way to explain this as I can. But alright, this is your finished ink drawing of Konata. Wait, I lied. Okay, so this is an anime picture of Konata, an anime girl, and you got her face. Always remember, keep in mind, usually I do the face first. There's a lot of different ways people do the face. Sometimes people do the mouth or the nose first. When I say first, that's the first thing that you just draw on a piece of paper. Usually I go for the right eye, just because then I can get a perception of where it might end up. That's my focal point. That's what I'm trying to get at. Put a focal point on your image of whatever you want to draw. Just remember, keep it as straight as you possibly can. When I say keep straight, just try to keep the idea in your head of what you want it to be, and then you'll get what you get. Like right here, I wanted it there with a 50 caliber sniper rifle being awesome. And then when you're working on the hair, some people have a lot of trouble with the hair, but remember, in anime characters, it's highly exaggerated. Sometimes the forehead's way out there, and then just like right here, you don't know where it exactly ends, like at the end of her brow, or because then can branch off, and that's just the fluidity of the whole thing. This is how you just put together the hair. The hair may be a tough part, but usually it's when they say you gotta flow with it, that's usually what you gotta do. You gotta flow with it. And the clothing, just remember, you draw the body first. Draw, pencil out the body before you even put folds or anything like that. because it'll help a lot when you want to know where you put your folds against each section of the body. And the hands are a little tricky because they move a lot. Hands move. And then all you gotta do is just make sure that the position is right. And if you want to add like an accessory, like a 50 caliber rifle, for instance, just look at an image first. Look at somebody holding a rifle, and then get the sense of where it might be if they're actually holding it. I'm not saying like hold it, like exaggerate this and put it way out to the right. It wouldn't look natural or comfortable. I'm just saying. And I'm not sure, guys. My first little thing doing it, but I'll show you how to color it up later. So I'll see you guys soon.